Kodak delivered it like that at first, and I was like, oh nah, this sounds crazy. Like I knew off the rip, it was gonna get people dancing, get people like in that vibe, because it just got me in that vibe off the rip. So, nah, it was no pressure. I knew it was one of them ones.
How they were stopped and how they were detained. You have to think that when officers are going in to execute a search warrant, and I've written numerous search warrants as a former.
Christian has revealed some extremely startling details about what actually transpired at Diddy's house parties and the reasons behind the raid on his mansion. Given that Gandil also said that Diddy may have had contact with children, I must say that this is extremely worrisome.
Comment, right? You're saying that you knew someone that went through Jimmy Henchman proffer agreement for a drug case. And the proffer agreement revealed that Jimmy Henchman, he could have walked away if he would have given up Diddy. What she mean by that?
Well, what happened was is that they had 9 different sections with Jimmy Henchman regarding his proffer agreement. So that means the feds went in there 9 different times to talk to him. And in those sessions, they asked him, what do you know about Sean Puffy Combs or Sean Diddy Combs? I don't think it was Puffy at that time. It wasn't Diddy at the time. But what do you know about Sean John Puffy Combs having sex with underage boys? And you got to realize, and people never think about this, that Jimmy and his brother, I think they had the same charges. But his brother walked away from that, and Jimmy gets life without the possibility of parole, I think. Which is crazy. For any charge. Nobody should spend their life in jail for charges. And just charges. But I think they try to tie him to some murders or something like that. I don't know that to be for sure. But he shouldn't spend his life in jail for no charges. Not at all. So, but they was gonna let him walk. The feds not coming there unless somebody made a report or somebody made some allegations against Puff in 2011 to ask a friend of his, Jimmy Henchman, what do you know about that? But for them to ask him about that, it had to be more than a rumor. Somebody made a complaint somewhere. And the feds got hold to that complaint. Now they're going to investigate that complaint when they get people under the barrel, like they had Jimmy Henchman. That's why they asked him.
If he did know information, right, why you think he did it too?
Then they would ask, how do you know? And then it comes into play, whereas that if you know of anybody that's in danger in the welfare of a child, and you see that, and you don't report it, you're just as guilty as the person who does it.
You only need to go back and consider how he treated Justin Bieber and Usher to see that this man cannot be trusted around children, as many have conjectured regarding his connections to Epstein and child trafficking.
Man, you good?
I'm good. How are you?
All right, young brother, everything's good?
Everything's
Selling
great.
out arenas and everything? Starting to act different, huh?
No,
You ain't been calling me and hanging out the way we used to hang out.
Well, I mean, you try to get in contact with me, through all my, partners and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But you never really got my number, so.
Right,
My
okay.
number?
Yeah.
I'll tell you my number.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so I'm gonna be driving this next year.
Yeah, when you get 16, you come down and you gotta, your seat.
I mean, I'm 15. You could ride in the passenger seat. I got my permit. Now that, not yet. 16.
No, slow down. Let's slow down, Justin.
Okay.
Let's slow down, okay?
One step at a time.
But yeah, the keys is yours. And you get 16. You good to go.
I'm good to go.
Yeah.
Okay. we got to go?
Where would you like to go?
I mean, wherever you want to go.
So check this out, yo. Justin, you ever seen the movie 48 Hours? Right now, he's having 48 hours with Diddy, him and his boy. They're having the times of their lives, like, you know, where we hanging out and what we doing. We can't really disclose, but it's definitely a 15-year-old's dream. You know, I have been given custody of him. You know, he signed to Usher. I had legal guardianship of Usher when you know he did his first album. I did Usher's first album. I don't have legal guardianship of him, but for the next 48 hours, he's with me. So and we gonna go full crazy.
Going crazy.
Crazy.
I'm taking this out tonight.
What you wanna do? What you wanna do over the next 48 hours?
48 hours. Let's go. Let's just go get some grills. Let's go get some grills.
Man after my heart. That's what I'm talking about.
And Diddy once made him drink alcohol when he was underage, which made Usher unsafe as well. Many people are now seeing analogies between this and how Usher was raised.
Moved to New York City, and I lived with Sean Puffy Combs for a year.
That's the crazy thing. Now, that was L.A. Reid's idea, right? We're sending you
New
over
York
to
City.
something called Puffy Flavor Camp.
There you go.
To learn
Flavor
some...
Camp?
Yeah,
Flavor
that's what
Camp.
it was called. And you're going to go to Puff Daddy's. He's going
In the 90s, do you understand what that's like?
Puffy's place was like just filled with chicks and orgying like nonstop, right?
No, not really.
Come on.
But hey, it was curious. I got a chance to see some things.
Yeah, but you were 13. What were you
I
seeing?
went there to see the lifestyle,
Right.
And I saw it, and it was. But I don't know if I could indulge and understand what I was even looking at. It was pretty wild.
So nobody
it was
tried to, some woman didn't come along.
I didn't say that.
Okay.
I didn't say that. What I did say is that there were very curious things taking place,
Uh-huh.
and I didn't necessarily understand it.
Uh-huh.
Biggie Smalls was there.
Biggie Smalls was there. Lil' Kim, Craig Mack.
All these people are hanging around.
Yeah, man. Faith Evans,
And your
Jodeci,
parents were
Mary J.
okay?
Blige. They ain't know nothing about this shit.
Oh.
I was having a good time. You know what I mean?
Does he have you doing any chores? Are you doing dishes at all? I mean, to keep you humble somewhat? Or are you just like, could you stay up till 4 a.m. with them and party?
I mean, I could. I actually stayed up longer than them.
And do you have money? What's going on?
I mean, I had like per diem.
Uh-huh.
I had like,
What
like
a
a living.
life.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
14 years old. You're a dad now. Would you ever send your kid to Puffy Camp?
Hell no.
Unfortunately, according to Gandeal, it seems that Usher may still be shielding Diddy. Some people are thinking that this might be a PTSD reaction.
It's a lawsuit, right? Little Rod, he alleges that, Diddy told him personally that he had sex with Usher. And when you look at the lawsuit, even though they got Usher's name redacted, you could tell who it is because they describe him as the guy that performed at the Super Bowl.
Right.
So, I mean, we all know who that is, but how you feel about that, man?
Well, I mentioned that earlier. That he said about Stevie J. The Usher part, that's a touchy situation, man. You know what I'm saying? Because I had a certain feeling, and I felt a certain way when Usher got on Shay Shay, and I don't mean to mention other people's platforms, but he got on Shay Shay and he mentioned how great and how good Puff taught him and everything. You know what I'm saying? About the business, right? I know, and people know, that was around that in that time that Puff and Usher did have a situation. And that situation led Usher to the hospital. Now I let Usher explain that to y'all. I let Usher tell that story. But how dare you say a man that groomed you, you gonna give him a pass? Bruh, you know I know. Let me reframe you on something. Remember Usher? We was at the Swiss Hotel. Puff had Kim in the room. Had one of Keith Sweat's baby mothers in the big room outside the master bedroom. He came outside in his robe. She gave him a fillet right there. His back was turned to me. She gave him a fillet. You knocked on the door. I came and opened the door for you. Puff went in the room. You came in the room and kissed that girl dead in her mouth. Now I'm telling that because you taking up for somebody that you know and a lot of more people know didn't do you right when you was at Diddy camp. Y'all put it together.
And what you mean by Diddy count?
Remember? He was on one of the talk shows. The white guy with the curly hair. What's his name? The white guy with the curly hair. And he said, yo, would you send your son to Diddy camp? And Usher said, no. Ask him why he won't send him to Diddy camp. But yet and still you praise him.
Yeah, man, and you said that, I know you can't go into detail, but you said that it was a situation where Diddy sent him to the hospital?
Let Usher explain that to you. Let Usher mama explain that to you. And the hospital was in Scarsdale, New York.
The most intriguing aspect is that, particularly with Justin Bieber, Gan Deal had foreseen that Diddy would have his just desserts.
Do you think he has a mole or an informant in his camp that's cooperating?
Oh, no doubt. No doubt. Listen, bro. Just doing law enforcement myself, just take for instance. I think the individual was a Syracuse former basketball player named Jason Barnes or Beard or something like that. He already had charges against him. The day Diddy house get raided, they catch him getting on a plane and they put him into custody. Didn't that sound a little weird? People didn't catch that. They either put him in custody for a couple of reasons. You understand? One, to make a witness out of him, or to safeguard him and protect him for anything that could happen to him, because they had already stated, allegedly, that he was some kind of mule for the people over there at Diddy's house. So now, with that information, that he was already known by the government for charges, wouldn't that be an individual that you use? I'm gonna give you something different. And I'm gonna give you something else that people don't even think. On the other day, I seen on the video that Puff had ran into Justin Bieber. They met up. And he started tapping him as if he was searching him and see if he had some kind of device on. Did you see that?
Yep.
Check this out. What if the federal government have already talked to Justin Bieber? And Diddy did that on tape. That means in his mind, he thinks this person may be a witness. Right?
Yep.
What he had just done that is against the law.
Nothing that we seen.
Tampering with a federal witness. If they have already talked to Justin Bieber prior to him doing that, he goes and look like he's searching him. It appears that he's asking Justin Bieber, you got a wire or something like that? Like, you're tampering with a federal witness. That's a charge right there that can land him in jail. Reckless. That was real reckless.
Man, it's gonna be kind of crazy to see everything unfold, man.
Nestled in the ultra-luxurious neighborhood of Home Hills, this sprawling European-style villa spans 177,000 square feet and includes a 3,000-square-foot guest house. It has everything you would expect from a Doty-worthy mansion, including a 35-seat theater, a gym, and a wine room. If that wasn't impressive enough, there's even an underwater swimming tunnel that leads to the relatively new estate, which has 8 bedrooms, 11 bathrooms, a separate spa house with a steam room, massage room, and beauty salon, basically everything you need for the ultimate in luxury and relaxation. Diddy purchased the stunning $40 million property in Los Angeles back in 2014. Many have, however, rightly questioned why no influential people have come out against Diddy. The response is because they don't want to be linked to him or have their own identities revealed.
Agree with you, man. That's crazy, man. But why haven't any of Diddy friends spoke up for him?
My man, listen here. All those ones who made it to the Diddy party, to the after party, and to the hotel lobby. They not gonna ruin their brand. They not gonna say nothing. Man, I was watching the other day. Listen to me. They did that. They on Channel 2 News here in New York. Gayle King and Nate and that other guy, they were talking about. They showed him beating Cassie, and they showed him the apology in the whole 9 yards. All they said is that we have commentary about that, but we got to go to a commercial. They never came back and said nothing about it.
Many of Diddy's influential acquaintances were complicit in his horrible acts. For instance, Harve Pierre was in collusion with Diddy for a long time and engaged in some messy activities with him.
Harvey Pierre, how do you feel about him getting accused of sexual assault?
Like I said, anything that has to do with those sexual, those people have to prove that. But are they capable? Yeah, they're capable. Look at the atmosphere. They're in the music industry. They're in the music business. They set up those type of, they learn the tricks of the trade. For instance, guys don't put those pills that they get to the girls in the champagne bottles because they popping them in front of them. Most of those girls, especially if they like mixed drinks, you understand, they see the bottles when they open them. And they trying to keep their eyes on because they don't want to get no kind of put in their system. But what they don't understand is in the orange juice and it's in the cranberry juice. They done put the pills and the stuff in there, the X, E, all whatever they put it in the juice. Now, those girls who like the mixed drinks, you understand what I'm saying? They gonna pull their own sexual act because they don't understand it ain't in the bottles, it's in the juice. Those guys, they learn that and they put it to those girls who don't know no better.
The fourth lawsuit accusing him of rape and sex trafficking was filed against him in December 2023. According to court documents obtained by USA Today, Jane Doe, an anonymous woman, claims that Combs and 2 other people ganged her when she was just 17 years old during her junior year of high school. Combs is named in the lawsuit along with Harve Pierre, the former president of Bad Boy Entertainment, who is also facing separate sexual allegations.
For them to do that, man, that's some real thirsty, desperate shit. That's some real thirsty, desperate shit. For them to fly a 17-year-old girl, you know, on a G5, they was flying G5 and G4 jets back then, all the way to New York to gang rap her in the studio, man. I wish I could give them their punishment. If that's true.
Yeah, that's what she said, man. She said that Diddy, he flew her to New York, took her to the studio, gave her a game. And there's pictures online too. So she was at his studio, Daddy House. So, I mean, she ain't lying about that. She was there, man.
It's crazy, man. I really don't. I got daughters, man. I have words. I don't have words for that, bro. And I don't know any of the guys who were officers that worked for bad boy like myself would allow that shit to happen. They wouldn't allow that shit to go down. Puff and them, they know what to do with certain people around. You understand? When they got those dudes who's, you know, from the hood and they was doing bodyguard work and they was doing stuff like that, they may, but I don't know any of the officers that I knew that was working for Puff would allow any of that shit to go down. Because they know they can lose their job and they can be brought up on charges too.
A woman named Grace Omar filed a 31-page civil lawsuit in Los Angeles County Superior Court on April 4, 2024, detailing an incident she claims happened in 2022 while she was working as a crew member on a boat hired by Combs. The lawsuit includes photos that Jane claims were taken at the studio that night, including one where she is seen sitting on Combs' lap. Combs was 34 at the time. The suit accuses Pierre and the unnamed third party of giving Jane Doe alcohol before viciously gang raped. It appears that even King Combs is a very evil character.
Grace O'Markey in Los Angeles Superior Court accusing 26-year-old Christian Combs of drugging her and sexually assaulting her in December of 2022 when she was working in a charter boat in St. Martin. So according to the lawsuit, O'Markey says that she had been working as a steward, providing food and drinks on that yacht for a 12-hour period, and she was 25 years old at the time. She believed that the rampant use among sex workers and celebrities who came on board. She believes that the alcohol on the yacht had been laced with drugs because she says women would have one drink and then almost immediately pass out or start falling over. This is, by the way, something that was also alleged in Jones's lawsuit, that Combs would spike the drinks of different people. But focusing on Christian Combs, O'Markey says that Christian Combs had been staying at a villa on the shore, but that he would come onto the yacht in the evening to party. And on December 28, 2022, Christian reportedly arrived very intoxicated and then proceeded to pressure O'Markey to take shots of tequila. She did. Christian allegedly tried to get her to drink more in the yacht's makeshift studio. O'Markey alleges that Christian kissed her neck, kissed her face, as he groped her legs, breasts, and private areas. O'Markey reportedly told Christian, quote, "Excuse me, you don't touch my legs like that. I'll move my legs where I want to. If I want to do this, then I will. You don't touch my legs like that." O'Markey then says that she told Christian she couldn't stay with him unless it was approved by a supervisor, all of whom she knew would be asleep at the time, so this was a way for her to get out of the situation. She claims that Christian said, "Who can I talk to? I'm going to say I requested you right now." O'Markey then says she responded with, quote, "Well, you can take your hand off my ass for the first thing." O'Markey says that she tried to go back to her work, but Christian found her again, wanted her to find him a place to sleep for the night. So she ended up taking him to the cinema room for the yacht, which doubled as a place for people to sleep. And she claims that is when Christian blocked her and groped her, took off his clothes, tried to force her to perform oral sex on him. She says that she was able to fight him off until someone came in. Now, the lawsuit goes on to say that O'Markey told the yacht captain what happened the very next day, but he didn't believe her, didn't do any sort of real investigation. She says the captain retaliated against her for months after the alleged assault, before ultimately firing her in May of 2023. Now, aside from her account, aside from a potential other witness, right, the person that allegedly walked in on this, what proof is there that this happened? Well, she reportedly has photos of the bruises that she says were caused by this event with Christian.
In the midst of the ongoing controversy surrounding Diddy Combs, rapper 50 Cent has recently increased his criticism of those who support the music mogul. In response, 50 Cent is preparing to release a Netflix documentary series called Diddy Do It, which will delve deeply into these controversies and could have serious repercussions for Diddy's career. He explained that some members of the culture aren't speaking up because they've attended the parties and are unsure of what part of their experiences might be on tape, so they remain silent. It seems like I'm the only one speaking, but I've been saying for years that something is amiss. Tell us in the comments what you think.